Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Coming up this week, a Disney Cruise Line entertainer is accused of sexual assault. 12 Cuban migrants are rescued by the Disney Wonder. Voodoo sticky pig wings. And a little later on, we'll have our review of Tutto Italia at Epcot. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. Voodoo sticky pig wings. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 873 for the week of February 16th, 2016. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, Kathy Whirling.
Hi, everybody.
From the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged, Mr. Tom Bell.
Hey, folks.
The lovely and talented Jenny Lynn Knopp.
Hello, guys.
The also lovely and talented Corey Martin.
Just happy to be here.
And back in the production nook, the not so lovely but very talented producer Craig Williams.
Thanks.
And Rhino.
Oh.
It's just
Thank you.
You didn't see that short stop coming, did you? Welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. A couple things in housekeeping. First, we just want to mention what's coming up this week on our various shows. Of course, every Monday, the Dreams Unlimited Travel podcast goes up on iTunes and on the Dreams Unlimited Travel YouTube channel. This past Monday, we had a very lively discussion about my Disney experience in FastPass Plus with one of our good friends and a Disney veteran, Miss Heather Weil. So go check that out. Next week, Tracy Heinrichs and the team will discuss Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, including how to get help and book the best cruise for you. That was given to me by John. John and Kevin are not here this week because they're both sick. And stuff's been going around, and they didn't want to get the rest of us sick, so that's why they're not present. Of course, also every Monday, iTunes and DizUnplugged.com, the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged with the lovely and talented Mr. Tom Bell and other people.
And other
the official line is Tom Bell and them. And what are you talking about this week, Tom?
Yesterday we celebrated our 5th anniversary with the top 5 snacks under $5.
That's right, 5 years.
5 years.
Wow, congratulations.
And then next Sunday, live on Mixlr, Mary Jo continues her side trips up the coast, talking about Newport Beach and Laguna Beach. So,
great places.
Yeah.
Awesome. Of course, every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, DizUnplugged.com, The Trip with Jenny Lynn Knopp, Teresa Eccles, and Jackie Gailey. And what do you have in store for the people this Wednesday?
We have a hotel review. We are reviewing the B Resort and Spa on Hotel Plaza Boulevard. So on-property accommodation that's not a Disney resort.
There you go.
Yeah.
And of course, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, the Universal Edition of the Diz Unplugged with Craig Williams, Rhino Clavin, and Jenny Lynn Knopp. And what is coming up this week on your show, Craig?
This week...
You're going to be talking about Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings.
Kind of, in a way. Well, in the Voodoo sense, we'll be talking about Universal Mardi Gras. JL and I had the chance to go out and experience it. Rhino decided that Valentine's Day was too important to work. Thank goodness JL and I have the sense to put work above personal lives, and we're able to go out and do that. But
it also helps her boyfriend lives in England.
Yeah, and my wife was in California, so we kind of had it open.
Something tells me if that situation had been a little different, probably wouldn't have covered it Sunday night.
Maybe, but it was bare naked ladies. JL and I had a great time overall, so we're excited to share about it. And
bare naked ladies, that's kind of like the real Mardi Gras.
Exactly.
Awesome.
I was not one of those bare naked ladies.
That's where Corey was on Sunday, right?
Yeah. Last Sunday. What day is it? I don't know.
But yeah, that's our coverage.
Awesome. Also want to let everybody know that the team is going to be out in Disneyland.
What?
Yeah, April 2nd through the 10th. We will be out there doing some doing some stuff for our next big Disneyland event, which will take place in June. I'm not going to give you any more details than that because we're still working them out. But
I'm so happy that Food and Wine Festival is going to be there.
Perfect timing.
It's awesome.
Perfect timing.
and they're bringing it back. They're bringing back Food and Wine Festival to California Adventure, which I'm so excited about because we always had a great time there. They had stopped it for
construction, all the construction that was going on, and they used a lot of where the Carthay Circle restaurant is now as some of where the culinary demonstrations and things are going on. So it's gonna be good to have it back.
It's a very different experience than what we have out here. They don't do the kiosks like we did.
There's some kind of health code in California that prevents them from doing random
damn tree hugging hippies
exactly.
out there. Yeah, so instead what they do is all the counter service places around California Adventure all add items onto their menus. For
the rumor is that it's going to basically take over Hollywoodland this time around. Mad Tea Party is closing like 2 days before the festival starts. So they'll probably use Stage 17, which is where they had Olaf's Snowfest. And then there's tons of space back there, especially with Aladdin closed.
Yeah, they did something last time with Stage 17 for Food and Wine, didn't they?
Quite possibly, yeah. Also, they used to use the old Hollywood and Vine restaurant back in the corner for Food and Wine.
Okay.
So it's going to be fun.
Should be fun. So the team will be out there. If you happen to be in Disneyland, keep an eye open for us, April 2nd through the 10th. So that's all I have. Do we have anything else for housekeeping? No, really? Mm-mm. That's it?
Jenny Lynn and I are just happy to be here today, as well as Corey. Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your catchphrase right there.
Go ahead. You can have it.
We've been gone because we've been out in the parks during those days.
Yeah, Tuesday is their one of their park days.
Yeah.
So we're handling the Twitter feed and the Facebook accounts on Tuesdays. But it's been fun. But it's been a long time. I think I actually haven't been on a show since November, if I'm remembering correctly.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we were just saying before the show that like at least once a month we're gonna have you guys in the studio instead of being in a theme park. But well, I'm glad to have you here.
Yeah, we're glad to be back.
Mm-hmm. So,
Mr.
Bitter party of one.
Over there.
All right, let's move on to the news. First news story, 12 suspected Cuban migrants picked up by the Disney Wonder. The Disney Wonder picked up a group of 12 Cuban suspected migrants. That's not written well. Southeast of Cuba around 8 p.m. on Saturday, February the 13th. They were brought on board the cruise ship and were going to be handed over to authorities in Grand Cayman, the ship's next port of call. The U.S. Coast Guard 7th District spokesman John Paul Rios said that they were found on a, quote, rustic, end quote, vessel, a term used by authorities to describe dangerous, unseaworthy vessels. I think the Coast Guard is gay. That vessel's very rustic. Probably not the word I would use for a banana boat.
I think those, pallets were pretty well tied together.
Yeah, it's rustic. Those aren't pallets, they're rustic. The Coast Guard was not sure if the migrants had been attempting to get to the U.S. or if it was just a pleasure cruise. Where do you think they were going?
They were on a 3-hour tour.
They were on a 3-hour, yeah, exactly. It was Cuban Gilligan's Island. There has been an increase in Cuban migrants attempting to enter the U.S. by both land and sea, presumably because it's believed that immigration policies allowing Cubans into the U.S. will be changing soon. There have been more than 120 Cuban migrants that have landed in the Cayman Islands since January. Rios says it's common for cruise ships to pick up migrants while at sea, and that the ships have agreements to get in touch with the U.S. Coast Guard and then drop them off at the next port of call. The Disney Wonder also picked up 8 migrants in 2013 who were stranded on a raft 45 miles from Key West. Now, if I'm not mistaken, U.S. law states if they actually make it to land in the U.S., they can stay.
That's what I thought it was, yeah.
That, and it only applies, and we'll do a little test. It only applies to Cuban immigrants. Why is that? Where do most of them land?
Florida.
Florida. What's a big swing state in a presidential election?
Oh,
Florida.
really? Wow.
Who has a massive Cuban American a Cuban population. Florida.
Florida.
That's why.
You
Now, I
go to
don't know if
Miami, you have to speak Spanish.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that that's been my understanding. That is that your?
Yeah, I have no idea why.
So that's from what I understand, I could be wrong on this. I know at one point this was the law. I don't know if it's changed, but at one point, if they stepped foot on U.S. soil on their own, they were allowed to stay. So that's why I think they probably get pissed when a ship comes by and fishes them out of the water. But then again, so many of them die making the journey here because, I mean, no, they're not in seaworthy vessels. Mm-hmm. All joking aside, these are not seaworthy vessels. And you are in the ocean. You're in open water. So
when the Coast Guard picks them up, I'm assuming, and do they take them back to Cuba, or do they just say, "Hey, find your own way back"? I never saw that.
I'm not sure,
part of the
actually.
story.
I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I know they don't. I think if they bring them to the United States, they're put into detention and then sent back. Mm-hmm. But I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm sure somebody listening or watching will tell us. I'm not sure.
What category do you think they stay in when they're on the cruise? Do you think they're...
Stop.
I mean, seriously. I mean, that's a pretty nice room. Expensive room.
You think they send Castro a bill?
I mean, they
have a
get
break?
access to the buffets? I mean, really?
I think, look, it's wonderful they do it. It's wonderful they pick them up and take care of them, make sure they get medical attention and get somewhere safely. But I think, with the changes in policies that have already been implemented and are rumored to be coming in terms of our relationship with Cuba, I think you are going to see a lot more of it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Also, in a Disney Cruise Line related story, Andrew Pogson, 39, of Ontario, Canada, was arrested after a woman accused him of sexually assaulting her. She said they met about 6 months ago, and he told her that he was an entertainer for Disney Cruise Line. He invited her to come on a cruise with him, and she responded that she would do it, but only as friends. Disney Cruise Line had not said what type of entertainer he was, although we did find out that he went under the stage name. What was it?
Freddie Fusion.
Freddie Fusion. But Disney Cruise Line has suspended their relationship with him pending the case's outcome. The two had checked into the Marriott Hotel on Augusta National Drive in Orlando on February 12th. And the alleged victim said that while they slept in the same bed, she had been very clear that she wanted nothing more than a friendship with him, and that nothing had happened that first night. Then they spent the day at Epcot. She had become extremely intoxicated, in her words, after drinking all day. Once back at the hotel, she fell asleep after ordering room service, and when she woke up, she was, quote, naked from the waist down, and Pogson was on top of her having sex. She says she got out of bed, wrapped a towel around herself, and ran to the door for help. She said she punched him in the face twice when he approached her. Witness accounts match hers. Pogson was subsequently charged with sexual battery and placed in the Orange County Jail. So, I don't know what to say.
What can you say?
That happened.
Yeah.
Well, the post on Facebook has been pretty heated. I mean, there's a lot of...
Okay, stop right now. Anybody at this table suggests that anything this woman did warranted that is going to have a problem with me.
But you should see that post. I mean, it's pretty heated. It really is. It's amazing.
There's all sorts of judgment lapses, but I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do.
No means no.
No means no. And I don't care what messages you're sending. I don't care what you're picking up. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No means no. So, but we'll find out, We'll find out. I'm sure it'll work its way through the courts. Don't want to convict this guy yet. But, I think regardless of how it's adjudicated, his career with Disney Cruise Line is probably over.
Oh, yeah.
So the other story this week, because it really was a crappy news week, I'm going to be honest with you. Criminal charges have been filed against Foodles Production UK, the division of the Walt Disney Company that produced Star Wars The Force Awakens. British health authorities have been investigating the on-set accident that resulted in a broken leg for film star Harrison Ford. Ford was filming at the Pinewood Studios in London in June 2014 when he was hit by a hydraulic door on the Millennium Falcon set. He had to be airlifted to a hospital to have surgery, and film production was halted for 2 weeks. The health and safety executive said, quote, "By law, employers must take responsible steps to protect workers. This is as true on a film set as on a factory floor," end quote. They are charging Foodles, I can't believe I have to say that, with 4 breaches of workplace health and safety laws. A court hearing will take place in May. Foodles responded and said that the safety of cast and crew was a top priority, and they were, quote, "disappointed by the decision to prosecute."
Wait, who are they charging again?
Well, it's a production company called Foodles that is apparently owned by Disney. So I want Foodles to make voodoo sticky pig wings.
It sounds like a snack. It does.
Yeah.
I'm so sick. I ate a whole bag of Foodles. Yeah.
Now, for those who do not know what I'm talking about when I keep saying voodoo sticky pig wings, on today's Daily Fix, which every weekday, noon Eastern, the Daily Fix.
You say the Daily Pigs?
Daily Fix. We were talking about the return of
Club Villains.
Club Villains at Hollywood Studios in March.
It's my rapid fire.
And, okay, I'll stop talking and we will talk about voodoo sticky pig
That's
wings
the
then.
word of caution right there.
That's my rapid fire. Shut up. She's so charming. So, all right, that's the news. Oh my God, it's 1:15. We're gonna have to have like a 40-minute review.
I thought some of those news stories would last longer, to be honest. They're pretty,
Well, I don't have John and Kevin here, and the rest of you are pretty quiet.
Well, they're so controversial.
Yeah.
I'm sure our rapid fires will get some
You can't talk much about rape, really.
Oh, don't worry. They're talking about it.
Oh, real? Oh, what, the Chatterati?
You can talk quite a bit about it.
I'm not going to.
No, I don't want any more of those nasty emails we got.
So let's bring up Bill Cosby while we're at it.
How's
No,
he doing
thank
these
you.
days?
Oh. Let's talk about Antonin Scalia dying and them having to put somebody new on the Supreme Court. Let's go with something a little less controversial.
Were you going to say something about Foodles? You wanted them to do something?
No, I was gonna make the jump over to voodoo sticky pig wings, but then I got yelled at because I'm stepping on somebody's rapid fire.
Well, Craig made me do it, so.
Oh, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that.
That's what she said.
Okay. This is going downhill fast. Let's move over
No
to
means no.
Let's move over to rapid fire. Oink means no. And we'll start with. We're going to go in the order I have it in my script.
We're going with typical order. Yep.
All right. So Kathy, we'll start with you.
Okay. Club Villain has been extended.
Voodoo sticky pig wings.
Has been extended into March 2016. It's you get a meal, and it's an all-you-care-to-eat buffet type of place, and you can have New Orleans style food. I keep thinking of, creamy polenta with sautéed shrimp, herb rubbed strip loin, black-eyed peas, Cajun chicken, gumbo.
Corey.
Voodoo sticky pig wings.
Yes, voodoo sticky pig wings. And they have desserts. The cost, if you had signed up for this through February, was $99, but the new and improved event is now $129.
That's because of the voodoo sticky pig wings.
Yes.
It is driving the price of this up. Voodoo sticky pig wings.
So if you've always wanted to try
it is my favorite thing in the world to say now. And I want hashtag voodoo sticky pig wings everywhere I look.
You take a sip every time you hear that word. You get in your stomach
do a
pumped
drinking
by
game. We'll do a drinking
107.
game.
Yep.
That every time I say voodoo sticky pig wings, you have to take a drink. You'll die of alcohol and alcohol poisoning by the end of the show.
And in my last part of it, you can't use the dining plan. So you have to
No
put out,
voodoo sticky pig wings for the dining plan.
No.
New Orleans style food, right?
Yep.
Cool.
He's not
You
believing
add
it.
Cajun in front of anything, it's New Orleans style.
Right.
You know. I'm just saying. It happens. People had Cajun from
Well, they
everything.
said
It's
New Orleans style food, so maybe you should go and check it out.
Maybe I should. Now.
God, I'm so hungry now. You keep saying sticky pig wings.
Yep.
Voodoo sticky pig wings. Get it right.
Not just regular.
Not just regular sticky pig wings. Voodoo sticky pig wings. All right. Thank you, Kathy, for the
You're
voodoo sticky
welcome.
pig wings. Voodoo sticky pig wings. What do you have?
All right. The annual Egg-Stravaganza is returning to Disney parks. This pseudo Easter egg hunt takes place on both coasts, March 2nd through the 27th. You can buy a special map at several stores in Epcot, Disneyland Park, Disney California Adventure, and new this year, Disneyland's Downtown Disney.
Oh, cool.
For only $5.95 per map. That's up $1 from last year. Then you take your map, you go around the area that you bought, looking for these oversized eggs, put your stickers on the map. Then when you're all done, you take it back to a redemption location. And you get a special surprise, which is a little collectible 2-inch.
Oh, it's not a
Easter egg.
surprise anymore now, is it?
Yeah, it's all over.
You've cracked
It's a plastic
Spoil 'em a
egg.
party.
No, it's been the same for
It's a
years.
it's a plastic egg with a voodoo sticky pig wing
yes.
inside.
This year, so the redemption locations are Port of Entry at Epcot, Disney Showcase at Disneyland Park, Elias and Company at California Adventure, and World of Disney at Downtown Disney. Fast forward if you don't want to hear what the surprises are. This year they have Mickey, Minnie, Woody, Jessie, Stitch, and Cheshire Cat. My advice is to make your purchase at the redemption location, redeem it immediately. That way you don't have to go back again later. Typically it's a random draw as to which egg you're going to get. So if you want all of them, just pay for 6 maps just right then, and you can get all 6, and your collection is complete.
So you don't really have to do it?
You do not have to do it now.
No, it's all about the
It's all about the
$5.95.
$5.95.
Okay, well, I'd pay $5.95 if I
Have you
didn't
been to
have
Disney?
Well, now I'll go. Just because all I got to do is buy the map.
And when is this running?
March 2nd through the 27th, so right before Easter.
Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you, Tom. Voodoo sticky pig wings. And over to you, Jenny Lynn.
Mine is really dramatic.
Do you have anything about voodoo sticky pig wings?
No. Mine is all about banishment. Lady Tremaine is being banished from the Magic Kingdom. So that character...
Well, she's a bit of a witch.
wicked stepmother for being technical. And February 21st will be her last day. She will no longer be in the park, but she will continue to be at 1900 Park Fair, their character meal. That's it.
Something happened with her contract?
I do not know.
It's a shame. That's one of my favorite.
I know. She's
meet
one of my
and greets,
favorites, yeah.
I guess they're making character cuts.
But why? I mean, because there's a lot of stories going on right now about characters being cut from the parks.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them. I don't know why.
And
I read an article this morning about Shanghai Disney being holding the domestic parks because they're way past their schedule and way over budget. So now all the other parks have to cut down on labor hours and stuff like that to compensate. So it could be something to do with that. It's an interesting thing that came out. I'll have to forward it to you. But yeah, I read it right before I left the house. I just saw it.
That's interesting. Really?
Yeah.
That should have been a news story.
It's the Chinese. It's their fault.
The Cubans, now the Chinese.
Let's blame the Chinese. We don't have Lady Tremaine because of the Chinese.
You're sounding a lot like, I don't want to say it.
What's that?
You got a Trump supporter in the house right here. Sounds like we got
the red hat.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. All right, thank you. Thank you, Jenny Lynn. Corey.
All right, breaking news. Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings is coming to an end as of now, right now at this moment. But no, Dream Along with Mickey, the show that's been running nearly 10 years, is coming to an end.
Corey apparently has a problem with Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings. So now I'm changing your directive. I want you to tweet at Corey # Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings. Blow him up.
Yeah, do that. Do at Corey and see who you end up with.
At Corey Martin.
I'm gonna hide my lower third. Where is it?
Or is it Orlando Tiger? It's at Orlando Tiger. And hashtag Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings, blow him up.
Wonderful. That's going to be wonderful.
You speak ill of Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings and you will be punished.
Can we get to something serious now?
Sure.
All right.
Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings is very serious. I'm very intrigued by this. I must go forth and have Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings. I must know what these are. I did not know of the existence of these until today.
So, Dream Along with Mickey, the show that's been running nearly 10 years, is scheduled to end April 2nd. A new show is going to replace it called Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair. It will feature characters from Princess and the Frog, Tangled, and Frozen. The storyline for this new show has Mickey and his troupe of merry makers getting ready for a festival and traveling far and wide to invite friends from other lands to join their celebration. From the land of the bewitching bayous, Goofy has invited Tiana, Naveen, and Louis to add a little bit of New Orleans jazz to the party. Also, from the land of Enchanted Woods, Donald Duck brings some new friends he met at the Snuggly Duckling.
Corey's not reading this off a press release at all.
I'm reading from our news story. You want me to ad-lib? Oh, and Daisy, she brings some people from Rapunzel. And then I think Mickey has a surprise for Minnie because she's going to be bringing, guess who, Frozen characters to the party. And it ends in a big old dance celebration. So, how we like that?
There you go.
I'm excited about it. I really am. I mean, 10 years, it's
This
nice
is
for a change.
one of the best news that's come out recently. I hate Dream Along with Mickey. Every time I see that phallic stage go straight up into the air at
Oh
the
my
end,
God.
I absolutely lose my mind. And then you think it's over, and then they do a key change and go up higher. And that show is freaking awful. And I'm sorry for anyone out there who loves it, but 10 years is 10 years too long.
It's time to change it up.
Oh.
But I'll bet you they keep that. They'll find a way to
They're gonna keep
incorporate
the
that.
The
phallic
stage or the,
Yes,
the show?
stage.
Oh.
The stage.
Oh, the phallic stage is not going
Yeah.
anywhere.
No one can call this show flaccid.
But
Stop it.
Oh man.
I am so close to saying something I shouldn't say. Oh, man. God, it's right here, too.
Saw
It's
those
right
sticky-
here. But I can't. I won't.
I thought somewhere along when they brought Dream Along with Mickey out that they said that they needed to bring that show out because how was it they needed like there was the fight scene and stuff that you needed controversy or I forget what the word was, but like you needed something that they had to struggle through. This new show doesn't sound like they have to struggle through anything.
She wants a plot line.
No, well,
They have to
because-
struggle through what? So what? Mickey goes to rehab?
Well, they were saying the show,
Gets dark real fast.
whatever the Cinderella, whatever the one was before that.
Mickey has a heroin habit.
It was overcoming black tar heroin. It was overcoming bad dreams, right? Like that. It was Mickey had a bad dream, or Donald.
Well, the one they
Donald.
had before that was Cinderella and stuff. They said they got rid of that because
The
people want to root
Cinderella-bration.
for like the bad guy or they want to root for what's going on. Now this just sounds very. Maybe they're they take turns.
So they wanted a more dynamic show where they show kind of like a classic storyline where you have
Yeah.
good and evil.
Right.
But
That's
now,
what I'm trying to go for.
But now
yes.
they're just going to have a lot of good and
Right.
no evil, and
And
still a
Frozen.
phallic stage.
Yes, exactly.
How many times can you work that word into a sentence? Voodoo
That's-
sticky pig wings.
that's
See,
his
I go with that. I go with that. You go with that. See? See the difference?
I could be a lot
But are
more
they
vulgar
phallic?
with it.
I really do want to know what the hell is a pig wing?
What's a buffalo wing?
It's.
That's from Buffalo. That's like chicken.
Don't you know nothing? I mean,
That's from Buffalo. I mean, from Buffalo, New York. Oh, okay. Not like from actual
Not clarifying.
Bison wings.
I thought you were just, the flying buffalo.
Yes. I want to know what a pig wing is. A room full of experts. Nobody can tell me.
here's the deal. Everybody send Pete a
No,
tweet
no.
and hashtag what a pig wing, hashtag pig wing.
They used to have the pork wings at Trader Sam's in California that were like little riblets with the bone that you could eat like a wing. But so maybe it's that.
So you think that they just took the recipe from Trader Sam's, and now just are calling it something
No,
different.
the description
so it's
sounded
a fraud.
different.
They're perpetrating a fraud against the public.
be.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll go and find out, because I'm going to go
'Cause
have Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings.
Yeah, Disney's.
Where do you get Disney Springs? We get those?
No, you get them at the Villains party.
Oh,
we're all
let's-
going.
let's
We're
go
going.
party.
We,
Yeah.
we are in a few weeks.
At Sunset
I booked it already.
Showgrounds.
Because if you
Googled
add
it.
voodoo in front of anything, it's New Orleans.
That's going to be the first photo that goes out on Twitter. Is that?
I googled.
I want a whole video about my quest for Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings.
Oh my God, that'll be amazing.
I googled it. Do you actually want to know the answer?
Yes, I do.
It says pig wings are a delicious gluten-free and all-natural product made from the shank, a single bone surrounded by lean, tender meat. They're
From
slow cooked
downtown
for
probably?
hours.
Can
to
I
give
get
a
mine
juicy
with
and tender
extra gluten?
consistency.
Borrow one of John's lines.
I guess so. Extra gluten. Yeah. That's all I got for you.
Okay.
Pork shank.
I'm on a quest. I want Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings. So, all right. Well, thank you, whoever was last. What are we up to? Oh, Corey. We're up to Craig.
Okay, so Band's Brew and Barbecue's going on right now
He's
at
got it-
SeaWorld Park.
You got to say it like you got a piece of wheat hanging out of your mouth.
I believe so, based on...
That's how I read it when I
That's-
drive down the highway.
I hear bantas.
Band's Brew and Barbecue.
Boy, it's just off the rails today, guys.
So it started on February 13th, and it runs on Saturdays and Sundays. So this past week, they had Smash Mouth and Gladys Knight. But in the next coming weeks, on February 20th and 21st, it will be Scotty McCreery and Dennis DeYoung of Styx, I believe.
God, I love him.
Performing respectively on those days. And then the third weekend on the 27th and 28th will be Alabama and Foreigner, respectfully again. For people who out there who don't know what Band's Brew and Barbecue is, it's an event that they partner, that SeaWorld partners with
He
the
just
USO.
falls right into it every time he says it.
It's run in partnership with the USO of Central Florida, and so they do a concert. They have a vast selection of it, and then of course they have a little bit of barbecue. You can do a sampler that's like $20, and you get to try 5 different items. A little bit of craft beer, $30. Sample 10 different ones. There's a mix for $35.
Hold on,
You
I've
can
got
try
to
a little
interrupt
bit
you here
of
for a
both.
second. Those of you hashtagging VSPW,
Yeah.
no, that's not what you're supposed to do. Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings, I want to see it. All written out at Orlando Tiger. Okay, you can continue
Show
now.
my lower third.
Well, it's going to show up over.
That doesn't work.
He's been in Mardi Gras for a week.
Let's go back to Band's Booze and Barbecue.
Band's Brew and Barbecue. It runs on weekends through March 6th, so there's still a couple more performers there that they haven't announced yet. But no, it's a really fun event. I saw Steve Miller Band there one year, had some drinks, had some barbecue, and Steve Miller Band. It was a good old time. I enjoyed it.
Why does this fall out of you? You're not from the South. You're not even from the Midwest.
I'm married to Georgia Bell.
Oh, so what? It's by injection?
Yes. That's exactly how it works.
Okay.
So
All right.
Scotty McCreery, huh?
Isn't
They're
he the
pulling out the big
American
ones.
Idol?
American Idol winner
kid?
from...
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's still around?
Yeah, I mean,
he's
gotta
playing
do something.
SeaWorld. So how well did that work out for him?
He's like a young George Bush.
The musically talented young George Bush. Ladies and gentlemen.
Now, Dennis DeYoung. I mean, obviously, if you're in my generation, you remember him from Styx. Incredible voice. His solo career wasn't quite as successful as his career with Styx was, but there we go, Mike. Very good. Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings. If you're inclined to Broadway music, there's an album that he did years ago called 10 on Broadway that is just phenomenal. So, love Dennis DeYoung. Love him. It's an acapella. A lot of acapella in there.
Oh, I enjoy Sticks.
I love sticks.
Sticky Pig Wings.
Voodoo Sticky Penguin.
Yes.
Penguin.
Yes, now you're getting it. Yes. Everything comes back to Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings.
I just noticed my
I believe there's a
shirt.
whole spiritual revival waiting to happen around Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings.
They wore the right shirt today. There's a pig on it.
Yeah. But I don't see Sticky Pig Wings on it.
It's written in
Oh, it's in Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Farmer Bob. Rhino.
Mine's kind of just a quick one. They're saying that that Star Wars Rogue One is set to have its own Force Friday, similar to the Force Awakens, for September 30th is the day being thrown around right now. So it was a big deal last year, and it looks like this movie's just kind of following in the same marketing footsteps of the last movie, sans giving us an actual trailer.
That was a lot of fun, though, that Force Friday.
Yeah, it said the original projections. It doesn't give me a number here, but it says Force Friday 2015 projections were believed to turn in $1 billion in revenue in the United States alone.
That's why they're doing it again.
I can only imagine. And it says the hope is that there'll be no more Where's Rey controversy, because I know there's some lead female in this movie too. So see if they get it right this time. So hopefully they'll do something fun with this movie again too.
Awesome. All right, it's 25 minutes to 2, and we are done with.
Let's go back to the news.
All right, let's talk about. We're going to talk about our experience yesterday. Craig, Tom, and I had lunch over at Tutto Italia in Epcot. Now, this is one of my favorite restaurants in Epcot. This is also. The group that owns this restaurant is the Patina Group, and if you're familiar with Downtown Disney in Anaheim, then Catal, Naples, Tortilla Joe's is owned by them as well. This is a group that puts out some really, really good restaurants. I was very happy years ago when they took over this space from Alfredo's, which was awful, and so every so often, I haven't been there in a little bit. But it's because it's kind of hard to get a reservation there sometimes, especially last minute. So we went in and we had lunch. We had lunch yesterday. So I want to talk about our meal. We'll start with our appetizers. Tom, you had the ensalada mista salad, which is endive, arugula, radicchio, white asparagus, radish, and a balsamic vinaigrette. It was $10. And you were not a fan.
I was not impressed. It was very bland. The dressing, the radishes, and the asparagus added nothing to the plate of weeds. No.
A plate of weeds. Oh, that's all salads are a plate of weeds.
Yeah, I know.
But Craig tried the minestrone soup, spring vegetables, pancetta, and pasta. And that's not an attractive picture.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the unfortunate part of it. So in terms of the ingredients that were actually in it, once you got nice big bitefuls of those, it was actually really tasty. But there was such a lack of ingredients there that it was mostly just chicken broth. And so if it would have had a little bit more, if it would have been a little heartier and less broth heavy, this would have been, I would call this great, but as it was just good. I mean, I finished it, so it was edible. It was a little weak, especially for the price. But I think that's kind of, with how expensive this restaurant is, that's kind of a recurring trend.
Yeah. This is a very, very expensive location to eat. I had the tortino di zucchini, which is basically zucchini parmesan. Baked zucchini, pomodoro, mozzarella, parmesan, cheese. I've had this before. This is one of my favorite dishes at this restaurant. I get it every time I go, and it is consistently outstanding. It's also $14, which is kind of pricey for what you're getting. The portion size, not that big, but as you're eating it, you don't care because it's just so good. I love this.
That was an appetizer?
That's an appetizer, yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, it looks bigger in this picture than it really was, but very, very good. I'll tell you, it is prepared perfectly every time. Been hitting this restaurant for about 3 years now. And every time I go, this is my appetizer, and every time it's right on the money.
Is it like strips of zucchini? Or?
Yeah, it's like strips of zucchini, and then they put, they have the cheese in there and the red sauce. And their red sauce at Tutto Italia is phenomenal. I mean, it is a great red sauce that they make there. And, in comparison to, I don't know, Tony's, which is clearly out of a can. All right, main courses. Tom, you did the risotto, which arborio rice, shrimp, and lemon zest. This was extraordinarily expensive at $30.
Yes.
Whoa, for that?
Yeah.
A shrimp risotto, yeah.
I love risotto, and I don't get it a lot because typically in restaurants they'll serve it with mushrooms or something like that, which I don't like. So when I kind of pre-looked at the menu and I saw this, I'm like, okay, if nobody else is getting this, I want the risotto. And it was good, but it wasn't great. The shrimp were really well prepared. The shrimp had lots of flavor to them. The risotto itself, not as much. When they brought the food, they asked if you would like shredded Parmesan on top, and I probably should have gone for that because the salty cheesiness of the Parmesan probably would have helped this dish. But eating the shrimp and the rice together, it was really, really good. I probably could have finished the whole thing, but
the risotto on its own.
The risotto on its own was a little bland. It's like they didn't, because like normally when I'll make it at home, at the end you add a bunch of cheese in there, and I don't think they did that. I think it was just the chicken broth or the broth that they used. They didn't add the cheesy goodness.
Was that an appetizer too?
No, that was a main course.
That was a main course.
$30.
Five shrimp.
5 shrimp?
5 shrimp.
And you didn't finish?
I didn't finish the risotto.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Now Craig went with the eggplant parmesan, eggplant ricotta, mushroom parmesan, and tomato sauce for $25. So Craig, what did you think of yours?
I thought it was actually excellent. But I do have one complaint with it. I typically get eggplant parmesan at a lot of Italian restaurants if it's offered. I really enjoy eggplant, and I don't like whenever the eggplant is overly breaded, way too fried, not really good. But for the first time, I actually discovered that this was the complete opposite. There was almost a lack of actual eggplant in there, which was really surprising to me because it was, it almost looked like a piece of lasagna dropped in the plate. So I figured there was a lot of thickness to it, and that would be the actual vegetables. This was basically a bowl of different types of cheeses and sauce. And
Is anything wrong with that?
Exactly. Well, and that's the catch. The sauce is really, really good there. I don't know why I said it that way. It's very good, and on top of the cheese,
barbecue.
This known here sauce is pretty good, and cheese is also pretty good. But yeah, whenever you just literally sit there and eat a bowl of cheese and sauce, you can't really go wrong. I mean, I devoured this thing, I would say, in probably 3 minutes. Pete had one bite of it and it was gone.
They give you bread, right?
Yeah, they did, but I didn't eat it. I was just kind of spooning it up into my mouth too.
In my mouth?
In my mouth.
Wrap in my mouth.
Don't go there.
Yeah. There are things, there are phrases I don't want to hear come out of Craig. All right, I had the tortiglione, which is a large macaroni with bacon, caramelized onions, and a pomodoro sauce. And this was $25. And I can tell you, this was superb. This was, from the first bite, I was like, oh, wow. This was really terrific. Decent-sized portion, I will say. I wasn't able to finish it. I was pretty full from bread and eggplant, or zucchini. And I felt really bad that I couldn't finish this because I wanted to in the worst way. And these guys tried it. I think they agree with me. This was a winning dish.
Yeah, it had the best flavor, honestly, of anything. Well, I didn't try Tom's, but I could just from looking at Tom's, I could assume that this had the best flavor. But then it was also the best portion size along with the price. I don't know how any of us could have walked away eating that whole dish without feeling awful walking around Epcot with
exactly,
with all that pasta in your stomach.
That is definitely the downside of this restaurant, is that it's Italian food, so it's heavy. It's going to be a lot of dishes that are pretty heavy, and especially, fortunately, it wasn't warm yesterday. But on a hot day, walking around a theme park, I don't know how much you want that sitting on your stomach. But I was happy for it yesterday and just blown away by how good this dish was. Now for dessert, Tom, you tried the warm hazelnut chocolate cake?
I did. That was really good. It was almost like it was a small cake, but it was almost like a lava cake with a big old pool of chocolate sauce and, why are you giggling?
I heard poo of chocolate.
Poo of chocolate.
It almost came out like that. And then the vanilla and fresh berries, which is really good. You tried it. What did you think? Back to you.
It was back to you. It was very rich. It was good. It was very rich. Craig, you had the tiramisu at $12. Tom's was $14,
which
for that.
seems pricey for that.
Well, it's a theme.
Yes.
It's a theme at this restaurant.
So the tiramisu, it was tiramisu. Obviously, if you listened to our Tony's Town Square review a couple weeks ago, I got the awfully plated tiramisu in a cup that they had there. And so in a happy sense, this was actually much better. It was definitely a step up. Still not the best tiramisu I've ever had, but far, far better than what was at Tony's. But the portion size just felt small. I mean, I know I'm kind of a bigger guy, but whenever I can take something down in only 3 or 4 bites, that's not enough for me. Yeah. Maybe I'm just starting to eat too much.
Well, there's that. But still, at these prices, $12 for that tiramisu, you're expecting a portion a little bit larger.
Yeah, I would have. This was a rectangle. I would have expected a square, which I believe is kind of what you get at. As
opposed to the isosceles triangle.
Exactly. What's the restaurant that we love over at Portofino?
Mama Della's.
They do octagons there.
Yeah, like their tiramisu is really excellent, and it's a nice big portion. If that would have been over here, I would be saying that this one was right on the same line too, but it was just too small.
I will say the service I thought was very good. She was very sweet. What, you didn't like her?
I didn't mind her. The Italian people they're very
careful.
They're very polite.
How many more groups can we
I know.
install in this
So-
one
How many more
episode?
ethnic groups
Sitting
can we
there,
offend this
the
episode?
thing that kept coming to my mind was there's a sketch from Saturday Night Live where they're in an Italian restaurant and Dana Carvey's the server and Adam Sandler's like the pepper boy, and he just keeps coming up to the table, a fresh pepper, and that's what it felt like at this. That it was just like a constant onslaught of, "Can I take your plate?" It was like, "Well, I've got stuff still on my plate."
Well, there was that. That was one of the things I wanted to mention. The pacing of this meal was a little faster than it should have been, especially again coming back to the price point. And this is, unfortunately, one of the hallmarks of a lot of these restaurants in World Showcase is they are about turning over the tables. And I'm good with that, but then lower your price. Lower your price. Because we were in and out of this place in just over an hour.
Wow.
From appetizer to dessert, just over an hour. I had the lemon sorbet, which was $10, which was excellent. I mean, it was really good, like one of the best sorbets I've ever had. So there's no question for me that the food here is extraordinarily good. What's going to knock you down is the check with Tables in Wonderland, which takes the 20% off, but then adds 18% back in for gratuity. It was $180 for 3 people to have lunch. That is $60 a person. And no one had alcohol.
Wow.
No one had a drop of alcohol. We had soft drinks. We did have bottled water, because I prefer bottled water as opposed to Florida Tap. But $180 for 3 people. So while the food was very, very, very good, my recommendations here would be to... Number 1, order your appetizer. Wait for that to come before you order your main course. Make the pacing be better. Don't count on them at this restaurant. You've got to take charge of that. So
Can I pause you there for a second? Do you think some people, there's going to be that mix of people that want to go in and get out because they have a fast pass or something?
right. I mean, if that's
Yeah.
your deal, then just they'll take care of that for
if you want to stay, take charge.
For me, at $60, if I'm paying $60 a plate for a meal, I want to enjoy it. I want to sit. I want to relax. I want to talk with the people. Well, not so much these two, but usually with the people I'm there with. You want to have a conversation. You want to relax. You want to enjoy the meal. You want to soak up the atmosphere. And this is a restaurant with some great atmosphere too. And I love this restaurant. Don't get me wrong, but the bar you've got to cross at $60 a plate is pretty high. This is topped in terms of its expense only by Le Cellier. I don't think Monsieur Paul is this expensive. And you can have lunch there too, I believe. So this is, keep that in mind. It's good Italian food, but it is Italian food. And you're going to, for appetizer, main course, dessert, don't be surprised if you're going to spend $60 a person for that. Do I think it was worth $60 a person? No, I don't. Do I think it was very good? Yes. But would I go back? Yeah, absolutely, because I love the restaurant and I love the food. But do I think it's a great value for what you're getting? Not at all.
This might be one of those times where you each order an appetizer and then split an entree, split the pasta.
But I
Save
felt
a
like
lot of money.
I mean, I know I'm probably in the minority here, but I left still hungry. But then again, I just had essentially a bowl of cheese and sauce, a soup, and then a very light dessert. So
Non-square.
that was also not, a rectangular dessert, not the full square.
Not fit properly in the stomach.
Darn
So
rectangles.
if I would have ordered and asked like what was the most heartiest things, I probably would have left a lot more full. But that was also shame on me for going light.
Yeah, but I offered you the rest of my pasta and you didn't want it.
You did. I got to worry about my figure.
No. Give up.
Not there yet. Soon. Give me a week.
Beach batty ready. Beach batty ready. I don't know how you said.
Got to get ready
but
for the
you
tractor
barbecue.
pull.
He wants to look like a weeble.
You say you have to get ready for the what?
Tractor pull.
Tractor
Oh,
pull.
the tractor pull. I
Band's
did
Brew
hear
and
pull.
Barbecue.
But so Tom, scale of 1 to 10 overall, everything considered, what would you give this restaurant?
7.
7, Craig?
I'd go with an 8. Maybe even an 8.5.
And I'm the only reason I'm not going to go with 8.5 is because of the price value difference for me. I'm going with a 7. And I do really like this restaurant a lot. So if you want good Italian food, if that's what you're in the mood for, you can do no better at Epcot than Tutto Italia. Perhaps, arguably, no, Il Mulino is better. Il Mulino's better.
Agreed.
But it's among the best Italian you'll find on property in general. However, know that if you're going to, now that I think about it, if you're going to spend that much for an Italian meal, take the walk over to Il Mulino. You're going to get a lot larger portions. No, you disagree?
No, I'm just remembering that I had dinner at Il Mulino last night.
Well, what do you think? You did Il Mulino.
Oh, no, I love Il Mulino.
You had a double Italian day?
I did.
Wow.
Well, I'm staying at the Swan, so it was convenient. I just walked downstairs and grabbed a seat at the bar. And had-
Kimonos next door.
no,
No?
Tom could have done karaoke.
no.
But overall, yeah, that's what I would say is that, if you're in Epcot, you're in the mood for good Italian food, absolutely this is the place to go. But be mindful of the price that you are going to spend. You're going to spend real money there. And you'll have a good meal, but you're going to pay for it. So that's my take, our take on Tutto Italia at Epcot. I'm not ready to wrap the show up yet. I know we've got it's 5 minutes of, but
I have a question.
I've got stuff to talk about.
All right.
No,
Go ahead.
you go. You
go ahead.
first.
What did you
All right, look, I had an email come in. I'm sorry I don't know your name, but because I don't have it in front of me, but somebody sent an email. They want to do this change.org thing about removing the crane from the castle. Now, we know that's not possible. You just can't do it. But they also offered a suggestion for Disney, not for us, of maybe Disney should, like with rehabs and closings, let people know when the crane's going to be there and when it's going away. Would that impact how you go? Would you revolve your trip around a crane behind the castle?
No, mainly because I enjoy complaining about it. I'm excited when I see the crane go up because it gives me a reason to vent frustrations that aren't appropriately being expressed in other areas of my life. So, Ichabod is what we call it, by the way. Its official name is Ichabod Crane.
But with Kathy, you do the rehabs and updates and all that with the closings and stuff. I kind of think they should announce when it's going up and when it's coming down.
In prior years, they did, but the last 2 years, they haven't. But I was, our park this month is Magic Kingdom. And I purposely, last week, took pictures to show you can take pictures without the crane in it. Maybe it's not your most
Not everybody has
stylistic.
Photoshop, though.
Well, no, I didn't know. It's just how you take the picture. I get it, but,
All right, kids, lay on the ground. Lay on the ground.
A day with the crane is still better than a snowy day up north.
And we can't really complain about the crane this year because the frickin' right in front of the castle, it's been under construction for how long? 9 months at this point.
Stage.
Before that,
Are they building a parking garage?
Yeah, probably. And before that, they were doing the hub expansion, so everything was ripped up there now. Face it, you're never going to get that perfect picture until whatever they're planning on doing and finishing up is completely done. And with a new show coming in, there'll probably be more walls going up so they can redefine that stage.
I feel bad, like when you go down by Disney Springs and you see all the cranes and the construction, because that's not how I first came to Disney. It seems like I get why they're doing it, but I just keep hoping that when they're all finished.
Yeah, well, when you first came to Disney, Universal wasn't shooting steroids. So
Well, true.
that's why do you think we have all this construction going on? Take a look at the quarterly report that Comcast issued and the kind of numbers that Universal is posting. I mean, double-digit growth year over year. They're talking, huge numbers. And nobody can say anymore that, oh, yeah, well, it's Harry Potter's first year or second year. No, we're past that now. This is what they're doing. They're talking about huge increases in gate attendance, huge increases in in-park spending. That's why there are cranes everywhere. It's world of, Disney would probably do better creating one of those construction theme parks.
Yeah.
Where people can play on the crane. If they did that, it would probably make it better.
Swing.
Diggerland.
Diggerland, yeah.
What?
Yeah, there is a...
Let's watch how much we throw that one around.
Where Ichabod's concerned, I guess it's more about managing expectations if you know it's going to be there. Almost like when you go and Pirates is closed. You know it's closed. It's no big deal, but I guess it's managing your expectations.
Well, Disney always sends letters to people like when the pool's closed or this is closed. You would think they would put something like that in their letters too and just say it.
Well, I'd be okay with them just posting somewhere.
That's cool.
Online that, okay, Ichabod's going to be up.
Yeah.
This date, this date, this date, this date. But I don't know how much we can actually expect Disney, how far we can expect Disney to go,
Next topic. Let's go.
Well,
What do you got, Craig?
I've got some bright news. It actually started yesterday. But for all of you game show fans out there, Wheel of Fortune's doing their Sea and Shore Week right now on the show. So they're showing off, I guess, some locations from ABD, Alani, and Disney Cruise Line. And a lot of the puzzles are Disney-themed and oriented around. So if you're looking to get your Disney fix with game shows right now, Wheel of Fortune.
Okay, so now he goes into game show voice, game show host voice.
Tune in.
What's happening?
Find it in your local listings.
He's the what's the lizard that changes colors?
Chameleon.
He's
I
the
just-
chameleon of accents. He just absorbs whatever he's talking about.
Listen, I really want to see Pat Sajak and Vanna White doing these fun things. They were in Palo
On the cruise ship.
and at Alani, hearing the storytelling and something else. But I didn't watch last night.
I'm sorry, Vanna White looks like a science project at this point.
They never used to.
No. Well, that's what happens. You can only have it. You can only have the skin tightened so many times before you start looking like a Beverly Hills Science Project. And Pat Sajak, is he drunk most of the time he's doing that show?
Wouldn't you if you would watch that wheel spin around and around constantly?
And then you have these people that well, I'm not going to get into it. I mean, you really can watch the decline of the American education system just by, looking over years at Wheel of Fortune.
Why are you buying a vowel?
Yeah, really.
Well, that's that Steve Harvey video where the lady keeps answering the same question.
That was hysterical.
That was good.
That was hysterical. That actually makes me want to go sit in an audience for a taping of Family Feud.
I didn't realize he swore in between takes and all that stuff, so that was fun.
So.
Turn that over.
Yeah. Mommy.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll link to that in the show notes because you're not going to get it, and I can't do it justice. But Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings.
Now, do we know if the Big Bad Wolf will be at Club Villain
I don't know.
with the Three Little Pigs?
Oh God, Tom.
Oh, you think they'll make the Voodoo Sticky
worst.
Pig Wings
Give
from
him an
the
issue.
Three Little Pigs in front of us?
Worst joke. So, did anybody see the Star Wars Episode 8 announcement trailer?
Yes.
No.
This is cool. They did like it was like the trailer, and it starts, and you're like, and then they go cut. Like, we had to show you something. We started filming today. It's just this like 2-second shot of Mark Hamill and Daisy Ridley.
Spoiler alert.
People asked why I didn't bring it up, so now they know. I brought it up.
And all the Voodoo Sticky Pig Wing. Thanks, Pete.
My people. My people. I love you. All right, that is going to do it for us today. I think it's time to get while the getting's good. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next week with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And remember, Voodoo Sticky Pig Wings at Orlando Tiger.